Welcome to the Oprah Diddy Show, where we sit down and we talk to a variety of different people about their journeys in the music and entrepreneur space. Tonight, we have Miss Crystal Willis here with us, which is my honor. And I want to throw this over to her immediately so she can introduce herself and drop her social media handles for you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Diddy. And what's up, guys? It's your girl, Crystal Willis here. I am a brand strategist, public relations expert. I've worked in music, film, and television for about 20 years and mostly in Los Angeles. Recently moved to Dallas, Texas. So I own my own independent boutique agency. And we mostly specialize in artist development and entrepreneurs, brand building. We do work with some nonprofits as well. So everything from helping them establish their brand values and websites and copy and all of that to the actual storytelling magic, which I'm passionate about. So I'm sure we'll get into that. But shout out to Fleet DJs. Thank you for having me on. The Fleet family has been so supportive over the years to me and to my clients. So I'm really honored to be here.
Absolutely. So you guys know that we always give Fleet a huge round of applause for all that they're doing for the independent artists, for the DJs, for hosts. I mean, literally, if there's anything in the music industry that you want to do or want to be exposed to, Fleet DJs is going to give you the opportunity for that. So if you are not following them or you are not a part of the Fleet DJs, definitely visit or catch up with Fleet DJs on Instagram at Fleet DJs or go to fleetdjs.com and you can find out a whole lot more about them. But today, what we're doing is we're talking about Miss Crystal Willis. You have such a phenomenal story. Let's just kind of start by telling the people a little bit about how you got into the music industry and where your passion for it came from.
I love that. That's a great place to start. So, I grew up wanting to be a singer ever since I was a little girl. So, I knew when I got into high school and school choirs and all of that that I was going to pursue a career in music. I ended up going to the Berklee College of Music in Boston, and I studied voice and music business management was my major. And so I was in uh, Boston for a couple years actually, and I'm really excited and proud of that experience. It taught me a ton about the music business and about music, songwriting, vocal skills, all of that, but also just understanding the struggles that artists deal with. I have so many friends who are artists and musicians that I went to school with that are now world touring musicians, multi platinum songwriters, producers. Like, it's incredible. So if you see me at a show, there's a good chance it's because one of my friends are in the band or something. But yeah, so from there I moved to LA. I dove right in because school was expensive, and I went to LA to get a free education. They had a fee waiver program there. My dad's a veteran of the Marine
Oh,
Corps. So yeah, I just started a new chapter in LA in 2003. And it was 2005 when I got my first job in entertainment. I had stopped being a waitress and decided I was going to get me a desk job, girl. So I went down to a temp agency and I tested pretty high on their like computer skills and typing and stuff like that. So they put me at ESPN assisting a vice president in affiliate sales and marketing. So I dove right in as an executive assistant and then an office manager. I worked in film marketing, film distribution for Code Black Entertainment, which was started by Jeff Flanagan, who now is partnered with Kevin Hart's Heartbeat Studios. Um, and the gentleman who I worked with at ESPN is now like head of Amazon Studios. It's like, it's so crazy how like these experiences that I didn't really put much stock into early in my career ended up being, this web of relationships throughout the industry. And that's really kind of how it's gone since then. So I worked at several record labels in digital marketing, either as a marketing like coordinator or executive assistant. I was at Universal Music Group distribution in the mobile marketing department when they were still trying to figure out how to monetize music at that time. Ringtones, the ringback tones were all the rage. So we were doing a lot of analytics around that in the marketing department.
Okay.
And that's how I got in good with my friends over at like Interscope and Universal. And then it was during the recession, girl. I was out of a job. I left my job at CBS. Um, it was like there was no movement. I was like, when are you guys gonna, move me up or make me permanent or whatever? And I got tired. So I was like, I know I'm worth it. They were like, Crystal, you're great. It's just we can't. And then come to find out 2 or 3 weeks later, they laid off half of their department, our business unit.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so that's why they couldn't hire me. So I was part of that whole unemployed recession crew, sending resumes out into the ether for the longest time, getting real comfortable with Maury Povich. Like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to. So it was at an allhiphop.com party in LA. I met a senior publicist for Warner Brother Records, and I was like, I've had a couple people tell me I'd be good at PR. I barely know what it means, but I'd like to try. And would you mentor me? And so that's what started this new career journey. So it was around 2009 I started doing PR at Warner Brother Records. So some of the first artists that I got to be a part of their rollouts was like J-Rock and the Top Dog family, and E40 and Gucci Mane and Genuine. And so I was like thrust into this world, which was so cool. I don't know if you guys remember New Boys and their Jerk records, but I worked those records too. And it was shortly after that I ended up taking a temp job at the Disney corporate office, and then wound up at Disney Music Group. And so I just stumbled on an opening at Disney Music Group in the PR department, had just lost their coordinator. So I stepped in and I was at Hollywood Records, which is part of Disney, for about 5.5 years. So I got to work with like Demi Lovato, Zendaya, Selena Gomez, Coco Jones, her very first single, Zendaya's very first single. Yeah, so some really exciting like memories. And now when I look at Zendaya or Coco Jones, I'm like, dang, I love it. And I know if they see me in person, they'll remember me.
I'm sure that they would. I know they were younger, but having someone as impactful as you, at least at some point in that intersection of their journey, I'm sure if they ever seen your face or had the chance to be in a room with you again, they would be like, I know exactly where I met her at.
Yeah, I'm super passionate about it. Just the different stages of an artist's career I find fascinating, from just nobody knowing your name all the way up to superstardom. So like I've worked with artists who literally have no press, don't even have a website, don't have a bio, nothing, all the way up to like they're booking Good Morning America and we've got to book travel for 10 of their band members. Like, yeah, so
I always like to give people like some gems from these types of conversations. And I know a lot of people on my platform are independent artists and they're still at the beginning part of their journey where they're trying to figure it out. What are some of your recommendations from your experience of things that they need to be doing while maybe they're still bootstrapping or trying to find the funding to get into the bigger opportunities that will really make a difference for them in the beginning of their career?
Yeah, I find one of the challenges that a lot of independent artists start off with is, and mind if I speak frankly,
Absolutely.
Is they have big dreams but no plan, and they want to do stuff but they're not disciplined. or there's just a lot of reasons why they can't, you know. And
Mhm.
it's like, if we could just make more of an argument for why we can rather than what we can't do, I think that a lot of independent artists would be better off. So I'll give an example. So let's say you're an indie artist with no budget at all. You don't have a website. Your social media has just basically been your personal thing for the longest time, and you just kind of post memes or whatever you find funny, or and then occasionally you drop music. Well, first of all, you're doing a great thing if you've already figured out how to distribute your music online.
Mhm.
You're doing an even better thing if you're putting some love into how you mix and master it and the actual quality of your music. Because a lot of artists don't even do that. So I would say start there. Start with the quality of your music. That's number one. And I think the Fleet Digits will appreciate that.
I would
They don't
agree.
want to get trash music in their inbox. Um, so the next thing, as far as it goes with building your brand, there's a lot you can do on your own, even without any experience at all. Such as, creating high quality photos, or creating, a website using a template. Um, setting up visual art banners and content posts using Canva, and Chat GPT can support you in things like a press release or something. Don't, make excuses for what you can't do. Like,
Oh,
figure
that's
out what you can do. And here's another thing I would say: team building can start right away. You don't need to have a budget to build a team. Well, some people might say, well, Crystal, I can't hire a publicist. No manager will work with me. I can't afford a radio promoter or something like that. How do I book shows? Like, start where you're at. Put your family, put your friends to work. If they are not busy enough that they can hang out in the studio with you all day, they can help run your social media. They can help take your photos. They can help pass out your t-shirts at a show. Put them to work. If they want to hang around and be a part of the crew, put your people to work. If they're not willing to really get down in the trenches with you and build a foundation, build a fan base,
yeah.
why are you letting them hang around you? They're clouding up your space. They're taking up energy that could be used to move you toward your future. So that's the number one thing I would say. Really get serious. Treat it like a business.
Treated like a
Treat it like
business.
a business. Your brand, your artist name isn't just a cute moniker. Okay, it's not a nickname. It's literally a brand. I mean, and some artists go so far as to trademark their brand. If you haven't bought the domain name for your artist name yet, what are you doing? It's like $10. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of ways to have your stuff together that a lot of artists don't. And people like myself who've been in the industry a long time, if you haven't taken those steps to invest in yourself and get yourself together, you're going to have a hard time convincing them to get behind you.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of these things you can find online for free. So if you are tight for money, or if you're trying to figure out how to do some of these things on your own, I think sometimes we overlook them because we think that they're either not important or they're too big for us to do. But in reality, you just talked about one of the game changers, and that's Chat GPT. If you go into that and you get familiar with that, almost anything that you need to be able to put yourself out there in a professional manner, you can partner with that one application to be able to really get yourself in a good position to be able to go talk business with people
Mhm.
and represent yourself in a professional manner.
Yes. And another quick hack is set up your own media kit folders. Like, a publicist will usually have folders that are organized for you with your bio, with your lyrics, with your MP3s, with your photos, with any press releases. Set up your own folders. Have your assets organized, the stuff that you would normally send out to people. do it in a professional way. Don't send a messy email with like random attachments and you're forwarding things to their phone, and like have it organized. Say, here's my Google folder, here's my Dropbox with all my media assets, with all my, have it organized. That
Yeah, I think
shows,
that's
yeah, that
fantastic.
shows that you take yourself seriously, that you're professional, that and it makes their life easier.
And always be promoting. I've worked in sales for a very long time, and we used to always say, always be selling, but or always be closing ABC. But in the world of music, the way that I look at it is, I'm gonna always be promoting. So if you're a stranger on the street, or if you are a fan at one of my shows, I'm going to walk up to you, introduce myself, shake a hand, make sure you know who I am, ask you to follow me on social media, or see how I can connect with you just to continue to grow your name, grow your brand, and make sure that people, whether they see you at the grocery store or on a stage, they know who you are and understand like your character outside of being an artist too.
Mhm.
What do you think has been one of the most difficult things that you have overcome during your journey, during your career journey as a woman in the industry? I think that's always a great topic to cover.
Mhm. It is a great topic. Oh, do we have a whole nother hour? Yes.
It's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah. So, well, I turn 40 in a couple of weeks. So,
Okay.
yay, Virgo
Early
season.
happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. That being said, like I will say I got into the industry when I was 20 years old, and back then, I didn't have any representation. I didn't have any mentors. I felt a lot of times like the only way to really get a leg up in the industry, a lot of women were taking, was, to give in to the advances of men, whether that was a producer or someone at the labels or whatever. And I never wanted to do that. And I never wanted to be labeled as that girl. And so I didn't. I don't think that it set me back, but to the degree that like one might think. But I think that, you know, making an intentional decision to take the long way, if you will, um, was something that I should have never had to do. I should have never had to do. I should have been able to climb the ladder based on my work ethic, based on my professionalism, based on my attitude, the way I show up, Um,
Yeah.
but it's unfortunate that in this industry, there is a lot of that. There is a lot of favoritism that's based on politics and nuances that happen behind closed doors and things of that nature. And as I've gotten older, I have had to learn how to navigate that. And it's not something that you can just like not navigate, because it does come up, you know? And so, yeah, there's people in the industry that I've dated that, or, been with, that are still good friends of mine. And then there's some that, you come to find out they're just not good humans. They're just, I won't say dogs, but I mean, I can't really think of another word. But it's like, and if that's the case, you show me who you are. I don't need to deal with you, because at the end of the day, like, all money ain't good money. And
Mhm.
I've been fortunate that for the last several years, a lot of the artists that I work with, or industry individuals that I, deal with in my work, they're very respectful. Like, I don't have those kind of issues, but it's also because I've grown a thicker skin and I know how to set boundaries. And when it comes to being a woman too, it's like we are people pleasers by nature. So so a lot of times we will allow people to cross our boundaries just in the name of people pleasing. Whether that's, them calling you any time of night, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Or, asking you to do work for free or for a discount and things like that. Then I'm I'm hypersensitive too now because I was a people pleaser, because I was in that place where I just wanted people to like me, and I also wanted to advance in my career so bad that I would, do work that was grossly underpaid or overwhelming, right?
Mm.
Now, hear me when I say there is a time and a place for you to sow into someone else, to build a relationship with someone else, to do work that maybe even free or discount, to learn, to get experience, to cut
Mhm.
your teeth, so to speak, and in a particular skill set. Take those, but know that those are opportunities for you to build relationships, for you to up your skills. Do it with intention, do it with purpose, but don't do it forever. Don't get stuck in a rut. It's at a certain point you gotta like fly. And as a woman, at a certain point, we gotta pop our shit. We gotta like stand up for ourselves and take ourselves seriously too, and charge what we're worth, and own our schedule, and prioritize who we're dealing with, and all of that good stuff.
I hope that people are hearing this because you are dropping straight gems that a lot of females in the industry, they just they don't get it. I think there's always this thin line that you tread, especially if you're an attractive woman and you're a single woman. You could even be in a committed relationship, and it really doesn't matter in the industry at this point. But what does is when you come in and the way you present yourself and the boundaries that you put up front to let people know, like it may work with someone else, but
Hmm.
it's not gonna work with me.
Yeah, and and I think there's a lot of men that are becoming pillars for us, and
Yeah.
just sentinels for us, in that they, you know, command respect, and they're not going to let the women around them be treated with disrespect, or even if women aren't in the room, they're not going to let the men around them just talk any kind of crazy way about women. There are a lot of those men out there, and I commend them, I applaud them. I would just say, it's still difficult when, say, I'm in a studio, or I'm in a somebody's house, because we're networking, or I'm working even. Um, and this has happened like BET week or whatever. Like, I'm out working. I'm literally am escorting my clients to private events, and people are coming up to them, shaking their hands, talking to them, and they don't say a word to me. Or it's like, in the studio, they're dapping each other up and all of that. And I'm just like,
Hey.
hello.
Nice
Like,
to meet you.
they think you're somebody's chick, somebody's
Yeah.
girlfriend. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm a boss. I'm here. I'm working. Like, nice to meet you. And so sometimes it's that, hi, like,
I'm here. I
you
understand.
yes.
So, talk a little bit about your purpose now that you are doing a lot on your own. I know you still partner with a lot of different people in the industry. You do a lot of different contracts and still work with a lot of mega corporations. But with your individual project, what's your mission with that?
Hmm. Yeah, so I've been through a lot personally. I'm a trauma survivor, a birth mother from rape. I've dealt with housing insecurity, food insecurity, domestic violence. Girl, I just been through it. But mental health is a big thing that I'm passionate about. Transformation, and just giving people who've been through difficult experiences hope,
Yeah.
and living my life in such a way, and pursuing my goals, and intentionally, with intention, in such a way that I can be an example for them, just of what's possible if they don't give up, if they keep going, if they believe in themselves, if they keep their word to themselves and be intentional about what they want. And so, in order for me to start living the life that I'm living now, where I feel a sense of peace, a little bit more alignment with what I really want to do, and clarity in my life about what I want, I had to get really clear about what was getting in the way. I had to face some of my stuff, you know, until you are willing to take the first step, which in my playbook is accountability for your life, where you're at, what's going on, who's around you, your finances, your everything. Until you're willing to take the position of how am I creating this? How am I attracting this? How am I perpetuating this? And create that awareness for yourself, that real, honest, hard look in the mirror. That's when you can chart a course towards the you that you intend to become. And so I got really passionate about transformational training. I'd been through over a decade of counseling, but there was nothing like going through an experiential training where I really learned emotional intelligence skills. I learned how to own my stuff
Mm.
and become more mindful and more aware of not just my emotions, but what I truly wanted and what behavior patterns were getting in the way of me going to the next level. And so I went through this training after my divorce, after I came out of that kind of phase of just being outside. And yeah, and so after that period of my life, I really just, I wasn't willing to wake up 5, 10 years from now and see my life look the way it was looking then. I knew I was meant for greatness, but I had to make some changes. So I studied transformation training. I'm passionate about coaching. I got certified as a master transformational life coach. So I help people unpack their life purpose. I help them move through mindset blocks, build their confidence, set intentions, goal setting, all of those things, so that they can reinvent their story, so that they can really be the master of their own fate. Uh,
I love that.
so I have digital courses that I've created that center around that topic, and also blend some of the magic of storytelling and how we can use the power of story to not only build a brand or create impact in the world, but also transform the stories that we're telling ourselves, the stories that we tell ourselves in order to cope or to move through life. A lot of times it's just looking at it through a different lens, shifting the stories that we subconsciously tell ourselves every day.
With those initiatives that you're currently working, do you also offer mentoring opportunities for young ladies or women that have been through similar situations that are looking to try to get themselves on the right path?
Yes, absolutely. I have coaching packages. Um, and I offer VIP days as well, where we can work through stuff in a shorter, more instantaneous time block of like 4 hours. But I have coaching packages, 3 to 6 months. And then I'm planning some retreats as well. Retreats are great because you get to go and create that sisterhood, and let go of things and really inspire each other and have that sisterhood. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, tell everyone the best way to be able to get in contact with you, to follow your movement, to see all these amazing things that you're doing, and to make sure that if they're interested in booking one of your packages, they know how to reach out to you.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm reachable on my Instagram. I'm there every day. I'm there every day. And if you hit the link in my bio, there's a lot of ways to either connect with me or work with me, or access my courses. And if you go to my website, crystalwillis.com, you can take a look through my story. You can check out some coaching packages that I offer. But I would just encourage you to reach out to me directly. I have an assistant, I have a junior publicist, but I'm reachable, I'm approachable, so I'm here.
So, before we wrap this up, I know you've already given us a lot of great information in a short 30 minutes, but what is one nugget of advice that you would like to leave with someone that's on their entrepreneur or their music professional journey that will help them continue to pursue it even when it gets a little difficult?
I posted this on my Instagram just yesterday, and it's something that gives me motivation a lot of times when I'm feeling like giving up or I'm just tired, you know. And that's that it doesn't matter how slow you go, just as long as you don't stop. And I
Ooh.
think it was Confucius that said that. But it really is about baby steps. And I know life be life and sometimes. And mentally, it be hard some days to really motivate yourself to take that next step, to put yourself out there, to play a bigger game. But just know that, like, one baby step closer to your dreams every day is progress. And those baby steps add up.
Yeah,
They add up. You can literally change your life can look completely different if you're willing to commit to making one or two small changes. It's the power of tiny habits, like every day. So whether that's being more active on your social media or working on that book or that website or that new podcast or whatever it is, putting out that next project, you know, argue for argue for your abilities more than you argue for your limitations.
ooh, powerful. I just recently had the opportunity to coach 18 women here in Nashville. They are new entrepreneurs, or they're about midway through their journey.
Mhm,
And one thing that I challenge them is 1 hour a day. Just
mhm,
give your business 1 hour a day, which aligns with exactly what you're saying. If you do one or two small things every single day to take a step forward, then you'll look up and one day you're going to be exactly where it is that you want to be. Some people can get there quicker than others. Some are going to get there way further behind everyone else.
yeah.
But when you get there, it's your time and it's your turn. But you just have to continue to stay committed to small steps and 1 hour a day.
Yes. And just to put a pin on that, a bow on that, think of ourselves every morning, every day as creators rather than consumers. Okay. We are the creatives. We're the creative entrepreneurs. We're the artists. We are the ones that create the culture. Like every
Mhm.
day, just one thing. What am I creating today versus what am I consuming? Because a lot of time we scroll, scroll, scroll. We work our jobs, whatever. Like, okay, but what are you putting out into the world?
I love
What's your heart? What's your passion? Put a little something out into the world every day.
I love that. I love that. I think that's a perfect way to just kind of segue into wrapping up the episode. I could go deeper. I could ask a lot more questions. But what I want individuals to do that have an opportunity to tune into this episode is I want you to follow Crystal. I want you to connect with her. She's got books out there. Again, she's got courses. I have learned so much from her social media page, just watching her go through her journey, that it is so inspirational. So, if nothing else, make sure you follow her on Instagram at Miss Crystal Willis. She's definitely going to share some nuggets, some tools, some inspiration, or she's going to show you what self care should look like if you
Yes,
are not doing this.
self care
Um,
queen. Yes.
Absolutely. And I think that's for men or women. Like, take care of yourself. Outside of giving your business one day, give yourself one too. So if you that means going to the park, that means going swimming, that means just sitting in the house under the air conditioner in the quiet with the phone off, whatever it is that you can do to take care of yourself, make sure you find those spaces in each day to take care of your own self too.
Oh yeah.
Well, Crystal, I've had an amazing time. I appreciate you coming on the Oprah Diddy show just to talk a little bit about your journey and to share some nuggets of information for other people that are on their way. Um, the Fleet DJs appreciate you. We appreciate you sending your clients. We appreciate you always being willing to come on a show and spread your knowledge with us. And we wish you nothing but success in your future. And if there's ever anything that we can do for you, please know Oprah Diddy and the Fleet DJs are here to help in any way that we can.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you.
Until next time, you all, good night.
Thanks.